Hi, Timothy Carlson here. The Child's Play franchise is certainly one of the most legendary when it comes to the world of horror cinema, so it's no surprise eventually we'd get a remake of the original film. And in 2019 we got just that. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Scream Factory 4K Blu-ray of Child's Play, the 2019 film. I'm going to unbox this release and share my opinions. Nice close-up of this version of Chucky there. There's our spine text on the slipcover. Back of the slipcover. Under the slipcover, art is pretty much the same. And in here, of course, we have the film on 4K Ultra High Def, and then we also have a Blu-ray of the film, which has several bonus features, including a few brand new ones. I'll read the description of the film as follows from the package. From the producers of It comes this shocking reimagining of the 1988 horror classic. Realizing that her son Andy is lonely, Karen buys him a seemingly innocent AI-enhanced doll named Chucky. But Chucky's safety restrictions have been disabled, and soon a gruesome series of events unfolds. Unable to convince his mom that the doll is responsible for the carnage, Andy becomes the target of the bloodthirsty Chucky. Honestly, there's a lot of mistakes in that summary about the film, the plot, the way things play out, so it really does make me wonder if whoever wrote that actually watched the film. I understandably had my doubts about watching a remake of Child's Play, the original being one of the high water marks of the horror genre, and I have to say, overall, this remake, I'm glad that they tried to reimagine this for the modern world, but it does sort of come up short. What starts out as something that has great potential premise in its own right ultimately ends up becoming a mindless bloodbath in its second half. Now, I do have to say, I was a little reluctant to watch this when I heard that Brad Dourif would not be voicing Chucky. Instead, we get Mark Hamill, who of course is known for playing Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, and perhaps more famously over the years, voicing the Joker in several DC Comics and Batman animation productions. Overall, it's not a direct rehash of the original film, and I'll give the movie credit for that. But I do have to say, unfortunately, it just doesn't ever quite come together the way it should. I do appreciate the fact that they rewrote Andy's mother as this slightly sarcastic, disenfranchised retail worker, making her a little more relatable. But unfortunately, for every step forward, there's a step back. One of the biggest problems with this movie is that Andy is no longer this innocent young child who's sort of under the influence of and loving the doll in question. This time around, he's an older character who is a lot less sympathetic and a lot less innocent, and honestly, it makes the movie less interesting as a result. The supporting characters also kind of fare similarly. There just aren't a whole lot of memorable ones. Brian Tyree Henry playing a police detective probably fares the best out of anyone in the movie, giving a pretty good dramatic performance when it's required, but also serving as a source of comic relief in scenes that need that. I do have to say, I think there's a lot of potential in looking at technology gone amok. I'm not really crazy about the origin of Chucky in this movie. He's not possessed by a voodoo spirit or anything like that, but it does feel, a little lazy and rushed here and there. The movie doesn't skip on the violence, and I have to say, the production values and the soundtrack are actually pretty solid. So it's a well-produced film, but unfortunately one that the ideas they have just don't quite pan out. A few years after this, we got the movie Megan, which was also about a doll that was largely an AI product run amok. And that movie actually did this same thing much better. So if you're thinking about going and trying to find a movie about AI-enhanced toys run amok, causing chaos, Megan is honestly a much better film. And I'd really recommend you skip this one and go watch that instead. That said, this one's not a total loss, and I will at least give it credit for the things that it does well. I'm happy to say that Child's Play, the 2019 film, actually does look very good in 4K. Again, this was a modern production shot on all the best cameras, and the extra enhancements from 4K and HDR really do this transfer wonders. I don't really have any major complaints with the picture quality. It is a fantastic looking disc. We do get several new bonus features here, a trio of new interviews actually, which very strangely are not listed anywhere on the package. The package only lists the older bonus features from the earlier released Blu-ray of the film. This didn't get a 4K release in America until now. Those new interviews are actually quite interesting, including production designers and some of the stars of the film. But then we get those archival ones as well, including a trailer for the soundtrack that's arguably creepier than anything in the actual movie, plus some pretty funny Chucky claymation shorts that have to be seen to be believed, and despite their short length, they're arguably more entertaining than the film itself. So I will say this is definitely one of those try before you buy scenarios. I wouldn't rush out and buy this, but if you watch the film and you're a fan, the technical marks are top notch, and I can recommend it on the basis of the 4K transfer, if not the film itself. How about you? What did you think of this 2019 take on Child's Play? Do you think it's a decent remake? Do you think it never should have been made? What do you think of the 4K disc from Scream Factory? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos, and make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.